another win for Thomas Tuchel's Tricky Blues. Hey guys, welcome back to another match review. This is Chelsea 2, Newcastle 0. I'm so happy because Chelsea have finally gone back into the top 4 after what feels like a really long time outside of it. And not only that, but Chelsea performed really well. I thought that we could have scored easily 3 or 4, maybe even 5 goals against this Newcastle side. And going into this game, I was a little bit worried about where the goals were going to come from. But we're going to get into absolutely all of that. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, this is my duty to just remind you to subscribe to my channel because honestly it helps me out so much. But let's get into the match review. So I want to first take it back to the starting 11, which in my eyes was basically who I expected to play apart from Kepa. That was a real question mark for me. And there's a lot of reasons going around on social media as to why he started. A couple of people are saying, oh, he played well in the FA Cup, so he deserves a start. But my argument against that is, well, you know, normally if a player plays well in the FA Cup, they don't usually start immediately the next game in the Premier League. And not only that, you're expecting your second goalkeeper to start those FA Cup games, but you don't normally change your starting goalkeeper in the Premier League games. You usually have the same person unless they're injured or playing absolutely terribly, but normally I think it's usually one starting goalkeeper. Then a lot of people are saying, oh well, we need to get his confidence up. But I didn't feel that Mendy deserved to be dropped just for Kepa's confidence to get up. Some other people are saying that, oh, everybody deserves a clean sheet under Tuchel, and I can understand this more than the other two arguments because I do understand that every player is going to start fresh under Tuchel, but that makes me question why certain players like Kurt Zouma, who were playing pretty well in my opinion. He's a menace on set pieces as well. We don't look like scoring set pieces without Kurt Zouma on the pitch or Thiago Silva, honestly. And so I wonder if everybody were to have a fresh start, where is Zuma's fresh start, because he hasn't gotten a start in the Premier League. So by that logic, you could argue perhaps Zouma should have been starting as well then. So for me, it comes down to, well, the board paid over 70 million for Kepa and they want to see him played. And, you know, maybe with this fresh start, a new manager, he can have a fresh go and it could potentially be good for his resale value. If the club decides that they don't want to keep Kepa this year, then they could try to increase his price a little bit because they're never going to recoup that 70 million that they made. But that being said, all of that aside, going into the match, I was like, I don't necessarily agree with dropping Mendy because he has the 3rd highest clean sheets in the Premier League so far this season. So I would not have dropped him. But that aside, I hope that Kepa has a good game. I really do hope that he just was really lacking confidence and that he can come back and show us what he can do. Hopefully put the past behind him because we know that there's a good goalkeeper in there somewhere. I was not convinced previously that it was going to be at Chelsea. I'm still wary of it, but he had a pretty good game. He made a couple of really decent saves as well, and he kept a clean sheet, which is the most important thing. So it was a good game from Kepa. He did exactly what I hoped he would do, and yeah, now it seems that that goalkeeper spot is wide open again. So now moving into the first half, I thought that we played really well. We had the majority of the ball, and I wanted to talk about that penalty shout incident. And personally, I don't think that it was a penalty because if you look at a replay, you can see that Tammy kind of shifts his body to try to draw the foul and kind of like sticks his leg into the defenders to try to win the penalty. But I think overall that the defender did get the ball in the majority of it. So I thought that it was a really good tackle by him, and just really unfortunate for Tammy to go off injured. You could see on his face how disappointed he was and how much it meant to him because he knows how much competition, oh my god, what happened to my voice? He knows how much competition there is for spots and that he has another couple of players breathing down his neck to take his starting spot. And now he's going to be out injured for who knows how long. So I really felt for Tammy. In the first half, I also thought that Callum Hudson-Odoi again was one of the most creative players on the pitch and one of the players that looked the strongest in the final third. I'm not saying in front of goal, because I actually do feel that his decision making was off in this game. I didn't feel that he was necessarily getting his head up, and a lot of the times I felt that he could have maybe taken an extra touch and then tried to shoot the ball instead of laying it along for other players. So I don't feel that he necessarily always made the right decisions in the final third. He looks really strong when he's dribbling and beating the man. I thought his crosses are okay, maybe can get a little bit better, but honestly I thought that maybe he could pick people up better. Like if it's between Callum and Kovacic to try to take a shot, I definitely want Callum to take it. We know that Kovacic just does not have that as part of his game, and I would like him to develop it as part of his game, but if I want somebody to take a shot, I want it to be Callum. So I do think that he just needs to play with his head up a little bit more, and he could be making better passes into the final third, or even shots and scoring some goals for himself. Another player that I wanted to talk about is Timo Werner. In the first half, we saw that he was getting into good positions, but you can see in front of goal, he still lacked a lot of confidence. And there were a couple of maybe 2 instances where I felt, oh, Timo, you should have done better there. Oh, that should have been a goal. You know, I was thinking if it were last season, he probably would have scored it, but he's just so low on confidence that he didn't score those goals. But that being said, I really like that he was getting himself into those positions, because you know, once you're getting into the positions, the goals will come. Now, he made a really great run for the first goal, for the Giroud goal. He took the ball, dribbled it to the byline, put in a good cross, rebounded to Giroud, and Giroud scores 1-0 to Chelsea. So Timo Werner has been involved in Chelsea goals. And then, of course, the second goal, Timo finally gets his goal. I was so happy because at first I really couldn't tell if the goal had gone in, and I was like, oh, please give it to Timo, please give it to Timo. And then they were checking it with VAR for a handball, and I was like, no, I swear, Timo, you have to score this, please. And you could just see the look of relief that washed over his face when the goal was given to him. I was so happy for him. Honestly, I just felt like, oh man, that's so sweet. So I do think the pressure's off. He scored his goal, and hopefully now he can use that momentum to build off of it, so that he's not thinking, oh, I haven't scored in 1,000 minutes or in 14 games, whatever it was. He said, okay, I've scored, now let me keep trying to build off of this. And he's not going to go start scoring hat tricks every game, but I do think the pressure is now off to get that first initial goal, and he can start building off of this again. So overall, I was really happy for Timo Werner. Looking at the second half, I really don't feel like there's all that much to talk about. Chelsea basically went into maintenance mode, already 2-0 up against Newcastle. Newcastle never really looked like scoring or really threatening Chelsea at all, and Chelsea did have opportunities for a third, specifically a Mason Mount opportunity that he probably should have at least gotten on target. He should have done better there. We know that he can shoot, but sometimes it's just completely off, so that's definitely an area of his game that he needs to get better at. But overall, I just thought that Chelsea looked in control of the game, were trying not to take any unnecessary risks, and just close out the game and get the win. And that's exactly what happened basically. I'm very happy for this Chelsea win. The table is completely open right now. It really is anybody's game. Liverpool have not been playing well. Tottenham haven't been playing well. Leicester have a mistake in them as well. Manchester United can also have a mistake in them. So the table really is wide open. Chelsea in just 3 weeks moved from 10th, I believe, to 4th under Thomas Tuchel. So it's really great from him. Chelsea are back in the top 4 race. This is something that I questioned just a couple of weeks ago if it would be possible. So it's absolutely amazing to see as a Chelsea fan. And finally, my man of the match for this game is Timo Werner. Honestly, I was really torn between Timo and Kovacic. I thought that Kovacic had a fantastic game again. He's finally looking back to his best self, but I had to give it to Timo just because he basically created the first goal. He did very well there, and then he scored the second one. So I really felt that that merited the Man of the Match award. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please drop it a like because it helps me out so much. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do so because that also helps me out so much. So thank you so very much for watching this video, and until next time, I'm out.